the other thing we could talk about too is, and I don't know if you read anything about this, but we could go into student loan forgiveness if you really want to.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if you heard in the news or if you've watched this, but basically, the new budgets for the next year are coming out right now, and they're trying to figure out, what's going to be in the budget, so on and so forth for, what the government's going to try to fund and what they're not going to fund. And basically, Biden totally took out student loan forgiveness from the, but it's not even in the budget at all.
Oh,
So
I
like, it
oh I
wasn't
knew
even thought
that.
of.
Yeah, he
So
was
like,
like,
they
"Oh,
totally, it was a big.
I'll forgive your student loans of $10,000," and then just what student loans?
Yeah, I mean, it's another thing, and I don't know necessarily what your opinion is about student loan forgiveness, but I personally don't really like the idea because it's just kind of like a pass for anybody that made shitty decisions in college. But yeah, I think it's hilarious how like, all right, this guy is going to be our great savior when it comes to money, and then he basically just, screw it when it comes down to it. Like, nope, I'm not actually going to do it. I don't think he can do it. Like, and that's what I've been saying the whole time is can't vote for him on the basis that he's going to forgive your student loans because he can't. There's not enough money to do what he's trying to do. So, just funny because like clearly he gets votes for claiming to forgive student loans and is never going to do it. It's never going to happen.
He'll do it like his last like year in like office. Says, "Oh no, I got it, I got it." Then election year, "Oh, I got to run for re-election again. Sorry guys, I'll do it. I'll do it
Yeah,
again. I'll do it again my re-election year." Like
yeah,
however every other politician does it.
yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily think student loan forgiveness is the key, and I don't know what your student loan situation is. Like,
Yeah.
it's
compared to
clearly,
compared to other people, that I'm very fortunate because when I went to college, my tuition was half off because my parents worked there. So like I had the fortune to like when I hear about other people's student loans, like theirs is like triple to what I have, and I'm just kind of like, holy shit. So like me, I am like on the very like low ball of the spectrum compared to like other people. Um, but like, yeah, say if he did do like 10,000, I mean, it'd help, but it wouldn't be like, like a big relief off my back. I still have to pay like probably 60% of it more. I don't
Mhm.
know. It's always like that one thing of like, what would politicians do with like student loans type thing. I mean, granted, if it did ever work, like, if that that looming loan of debt hovering over your head, it just goes away, and then the younger people could like stimulus the economy and things like that. They could buy houses. They can you know do other things with their money and like maybe have families and things like that. But then when you have that over your head, and it's just kind of like, wow, I can't do much or I can't do any because I have all this loans that I have to pay off. So I don't know. It's like a double-edged sword, and like you said, it's kind of like, well, what did you go to school with? If you did like, like philosophy, like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Like
Yeah. How many people do we know that went to school for
like for
BS
philosophy.
degrees like that?
Yeah, like, oh, you're just gonna have like a bachelor in BS. Like, all right, cool. You can
Yeah, yeah.
BS your way to talk about anything you want. Um, but like with me, for example, like I graduated and I do like videos and graphic design and things like that. So I mean, did I had to go to school for it? Probably not. But like I did like most of my learnings ever since like even in school and outside of school, I've been teaching myself on YouTube, and that's where most of like my learning has been. And I'm pretty sure I've learned more like on YouTube than I'd done in class, but there are some aspects that I did like about like my two of the teachers that stood out to me in there because they actually worked in the real world. They work with like Nike, Xbox, and things like that. So they gave me like a perspective on what people are looking for for hiring and things like that. So um, because after I graduated, I worked for Asics, the shoe company, the sports shoe company. That was pretty awesome. I got the experience to be like kind of like the assistant photographer. So like I was working with like the models and working like what they were gonna wear, setting up the lighting, things like that. So I mean, did I had it like it sounds like I didn't need a degree for it, which I didn't think I would, but maybe because having that degree, they think, okay, he's not, you know, he can work. He's reliable. He's not like, you know, I wouldn't say an idiot. You know, he has a brain. You know, compared to like other people that they just have like a GED or a high school. But then then they went to do like welding and all this other stuff, which is a very good you know practice for work. Like they did like the plumbing. What is that? What is that thing? It's like trade school. That's what I'm talking
Hmm.
about. Yeah, like trade school, like stuff like that. Like they don't. There's not many people going into that now, and and like there's like I remember seeing like ads on it, it's like saying like, hey, we need people to like learn, and they're giving like incentives to be like, hey, if you sign up for class, we'll give you like I don't know like a bonus or say no something like that, something to like persuade them to join to like teach them how to do the trades and things like that. Um, but yeah, I guess it really all depends on like you want to go to like a fancy school, but you took a degree that would have like little chance of like being like a hiring or you're being hired into your field type of thing. So like if you're doing like anything with like money, medical or science, like chances are you're gonna get hired. But if it's like something to do with like I said, like philosophy and arts and things like that, that's kind of a slim chance because that's kind of like a mix too. It's like it's growing and it's always changing, especially with like in my field, like especially I have to keep up with like social media and things like that. I have to like make other advertising for like Twitter, Instagram, all like 20 million social media, accounts, things like that. So I don't know. Like to me, like I am like in the middle because like I could have not gone to school for it, but then again, I'm glad I'm sort of glad I did because I got the degree and they know that like okay, he knows what he's talking about. So I don't know. It's kind of like me, like for me in my situation, it's kind of double edged sword.
Yeah, no, I get it, and I think it makes sense for some. The problem is like you can't really talk about forgiving student loans until you um, modify the way these loans are given out. Because hey, look, if I go to pretty much any 4-year degree for like for me for accounting or finance, I'm going to take a 4-year degree, and
Yeah.
it's going to cost me the same money as I'm going to pay for a degree in, I don't know, mythology, like studying the Norse gods. There's
Yeah.
probably, I mean, there's probably a degree for that somewhere. And those kind of degrees are there all the time. You can find them at SCSU or any of the big colleges, any state university. Um, and if it's the same price, like it's like you're guaranteeing number one, you're guaranteeing a loan, and like all right, well, you're definitely going to get this loan. Like there is no
No way
like
around it.
look at like when I go for a house, like people look at your credit score, people look at your history of being able to pay off that kind of thing. There's no, there's nothing like that. It's just all right, you're
Here,
good to
take
go, and
it.
you can have it. And these people are 18 years old and 20 years old, so they have no clue what they're signing. And then on top of that, it's also like, all right, person A is going for a mortgage, and the mortgage is going to be $150,000 for a house. Well, if the house, if and person B goes for a mortgage that's $150,000, but the house is a shack in the middle of nowhere, like why would the bank guarantee a $150,000 loan for
For that
that shack?
shack.
And what I'm saying is that shack and that normal house for $150,000 is the difference between a, a degree that's useful and a degree that's worthless. And there's no sort of word. There's no sort of incentive for the colleges to actually help you get a job or like give out degrees, not give out degrees, but provide degrees or provide the opportunity for degrees that strictly can, number one, pay off the money that it costs to to attain the degree, but also get a job.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest issue. Like you can't just start, all right, well then we'll just make it free. Well, it's like, well then there's going to be more people going out to BS degrees, and if there's more people going out for BS degrees that wouldn't have gotten a degree if it was free, you're just going to have the cost of tuition go up.
Yep.
Like the schools need to still pay payroll to school. Like if you say education's free, then like the people that are teaching are not going to do it for free.
Nope.
Like so, who's going to be paying them? Well, the government's going to be paying them because it's free for this taxpayer. Well, it's not really free then because how's the government going to pay for it? Well, because the government only pays for things by taxing things.
We're gonna pay
So
for it.
so like if they're guaranteeing them, all that's going to do is drive up the price because now you just artificially made demand higher.
Yep.
And like those questions are not solved ever. You can't do student loan forgiveness without solving any of those issues first. Like if you're going to say we're going to take out X amount, that's just a feel good law to make people vote for you. Like
Don't buy one.
that's not like grounded on any sort of principle in economics that make the situation, the actual problem of the situation, any better. So, but I think it's hilarious because they end up campaigning on those feel good promises, and
It's all a
then
bunch
they
of bullshit.
then they back out on it because they
Yeah.
clearly can't do it, just like the people that ran against them said they couldn't, and there's no repercussion. I mean, did you even hear about this?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean,
I
like
keep up
I
with
feel
it.
like I haven't heard anything in the news about it really. I mean, I saw a couple articles, but
Yeah, it's art when
uh,
I go on Google on my
nobody
phone, and then
online.
there's the articles
Everyone's
that
really hush hush about it.
yeah, the articles on the at the bottom of the search bar. Then you'll read like the articles from the bottom. They always talk about like student loans, and I always hear forced stimulus check. I'm like, no, there's not gonna be one. Shut up.
Hey,
Um,
there are people campaigning for fourth stimulus check right
oh,
now.
well, good. Then
It's
I can pay off my computer then. It's
pretty
already paid
incredible.
off, but then I have another check that that's just sitting there. But now I see what you're saying about that. But I mean, like over like in Europe over there, like even like their like their college, their community colleges, they're free there too. Like I don't know. I guess it's just like the cost of just tuition is just outrageous compared to like other countries. Like they paid like I don't know, maybe less than half for like a semester or something like that. It's really interesting is that like we can't just take like other good things from other countries that's working for them, but we can't put it to our system because it's oh no, we can't do that. It's fucking socialism or it's capitalism or it's something else with an ism in it. We don't want to be like that. We want to do the Americanism, like something like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah. No, I feel like
we want to be our
the
own. We want to be our own.
anytime we're stuck in between the combination of the two systems, it's like it's the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, it's fucking
And like
mess.
I would totally be fine with college being free if the value was there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I knew everybody could go to college and everybody could have a job and be productive for the most part. Like obviously not everybody, but um, the majority of people going into college what came out with the ability to get a job in that exact field that they studied for, or a similar field where that degree would be useful in, then I
Yep.
probably might be much more in favor. But I'm skeptical that that will ever be the case.
Give
That
it
there's
a
going to be a big mindset shift in a lot of people, not
yeah.
only like just the regular person, but also you got to move these big, huge barriers to government. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. That's all I had for that.
No.
So,
No, that was a good one. And like when you made my like moving all these other old fucks out of government, get fresh ideas instead of the same old ones, stuff like that. I don't know, something like that because I have a feeling like it's just those they've been in office for 40 plus years and it's just kind of like why are you even alive still? Like
yeah, no, I totally, I totally agree
you're
with
out
you.
of touch, man. You're way out of touch with reality.
Yeah, I mean, when you've never been in business, like not in business for yourself or anything, but if you've never like actually worked in the free world, like in the actual real world, and you've literally just walked through marble floors of Congress your entire life,
Yeah, then you're out of touch.
you have no clue, like you have no clue what the normal person actually deals with on a day-to-day basis. Like there's so much information popping by us on a day-to-day basis that the normal person can't even keep up with it. Like you need a full-time job just to
Just a go through
keep up with all this
everything.
crap.
Yeah.
And it's just like I feel like they need to let the reins go a little bit and just let things happen. Like that's the biggest problem. Like is the government just trying to control things. And like the student loan, going back to that, tuition is high because student loans are guaranteed.
Yep.
Like if I was in business and I could charge whatever I wanted every year, year after year, and increase year over year, year after year, and I knew that the government was just going to guarantee the loan, and I was going to get that cold hard cash when they guaranteed the loan because it was the government that's loaning it to people,
Yep.
and then they're paying the college. The college is getting the cash. Um, if I was the college, I'd think, well, I'm going to raise my tuition. So I mean, it's the guaranteedness of the loans that's making the price go up.
making all the money
So
go round and round.
so it's like the beginning of the problem. Like 40 years ago, there wasn't student loans. Like why wasn't that? Well,
Everyone had a
if you
livable
start guaranteeing
wage.
them, yeah, I mean, it's just there's a lot of aspects to the whole thing, but I just want to touch on it because I thought it was hilarious that this big huge thing that
that
probably
they
got a lot of
that they
people in our generation
promised.
to vote for him that
Now they're
they
pissed
basically
off at him.
reneged within like 5 months. So
Now he's Betrayer Joe. Now he's a communist Joe. He's a traitor now to us liberals.
yeah,
That fucking narc. How to say if you when you thinking of when you said about making your own university, to call it Breacher University.
no, I don't know what I'd call it. I don't know if I'd ever want to. I don't know. I don't know if I could have the stones for that. It'd
But
be hard for me to get accredited because I wouldn't teach anything they'd want me to teach. So
just I can
it'd
see you
be
just
like,
teaching. It's like you're an idiot. You're dumb.
yeah, like if I can't call my students idiots when they're acting like idiots,
What's the point
probably
of
not going to work
teaching
out.
if they're not going to learn?
Exactly. So.